There are so many angles here when we're talking about technological improvements that government can focus on. So just from a top-down level first, how should government be approaching these improvements? And to use some of your industry experience at both Microsoft and drugstore.com, what role can corporates play in facilitating the government here too?
Well, first, I think we have to look at technology as infrastructure. It impacts every segment of our economy, and so we need to talk about it as infrastructure. Making sure that we have broadband across the country is so important, especially in rural areas, allows many business opportunities. And also technology can be used in cities. We talk about them as smart cities and smart communities, using sensors to help us with traffic and to be able to time lights better. We're learning so much with data and sensors, and this will really inform government decisions going forward. But we need to make sure that resources are available to use technology well, and that has to be part of any infrastructure package.
And to go back to the point I was asking about corporations, how do you get the government and the private sector working here in conjunction in order to facilitate this? Because surely it's not just about governments even changing the mindset about how infrastructure and technology fits within that. It's also about corporations too.
It's really about taking technologies that have been developed, many in the private sector, and making sure that we do pilots and understand how those technologies can work and how they can solve problems. And so there is this great partnership between universities, the public sector, and the private sector, bringing these new ideas into our local communities to solve problems.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I just want to ask you, in light of what we've seen just in the last 2 weeks from the government here, with the CEOs of many of the big businesses across the United States publicly separating themselves from President Trump in light of Charlottesville, do you think they made the right decision here?
I think we need every American, everyone, to stand up against hateful, divisive dialogue and really uphold our values. And so I think it's very important that people have made a strong statement and have stood up. As business community, we had across our entire community. I wish the president had made stronger statements. He has not stood up for our values. And so I do think it's important that members of the business community do that.